Africa 10 million years ago, where you start by playing the last common ancestors of all the big apes. Okay? And then you evolve and you try to survive this harsh environment.
You said the last common ancestor.
Yes.
Do you know the Latin for it?
There's no, it's kind of like the missing link.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Okay, so not like Homo habilis or like anything like that.
No, Homo habilis. It's Ancestors, the first volume, is before any Homo stuff.
Oh, okay.
Homo habilis, Homo erectus, it's way before.
Okay.
So you start as the last common ancestor,
I like to
and
know your
eventually you'll become different species.
Okay.
Okay. But it's a survival game without any inventory. Yeah. It's all about the main character. Yeah. Like you can combine stuff, but not through an inventory.
Okay.
Yeah, just like in my other games I did before, it's not about the HUD.
Right.
It's about being the character in the 3D environment. Because when I started Panache, my studio, I knew I needed.
You mean Panache Digital Games?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's the note you took.
That's the one. And now it's done. That's all the notes I have.
Exactly. No, but I knew we needed one game, and it's all about the main character in his 3D environment. And then while I was like starting to develop the game, I realized, because people told me, that I was the historical dude.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because
I understand,
yeah, because of Assassin's Creed, but even from Prince of Persia.
Right.
For some people, it's an historical game.
Right.
and said, well, where should I go? When should I go? And then I had a flash. So let's do prehistorical moment, because it'll be easier. I won't have to build a city. I will not have to build a crowd. I will not have to build all the technology.
Right. Yeah.
So I will just have a character in a 3D environment around it.
Hold on. What are we seeing right now?
Oh, right now on screen, this is kind of like the tech tree of the character. You went into your brain, and it's the neuronal system of your character, and this is how you will eventually evolve into and develop your abilities.
I love this, because we were chatting backstage a little bit about immersion being something that both of us appreciate so much, and I love this because you found a way to make the UI somehow even more immersive. You're looking at the brain of the character.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
But we didn't want to go into like it doesn't look like a brain, because that would have been weird.
Right, yeah.
So we tried to be a little bit more poetic with it. But see, this is like at the beginning, you're really that ape, because we're still big apes. That's what we are. So
yeah.
And so at first, it's all about swinging. I wanted to tell the story of us going down and eventually walk on two legs. This is for me the fantasy.
It seems so simple, but I'm absolutely enthralled by this.
Thank you.
Like, it's extremely clever, like the G manipulation and how you make like the evolution happen, rather than like looking at like the benefits and minuses of like a skill tree. You look if you feel like a scientist.
A little bit, but I'll go even further, so you understand.
Go further.
The thing is like it really depends on how you play. Every single player will have their own experience, because depending on the decision you're making, you evolve in a different way. So if you are really good at jumping around, your character can get better at it. If you're more into observation, you'll get the skills attached to this, and that's your own experience. If you want to become a hunter quicker, it will depend on you, because it's really, we're looking about what you're doing. We're like monitoring everything you do, and eventually you will unlock portion of the main character abilities. But what's important is that you're not actually playing one character through time.
I was just gonna. Okay, go ahead.
You're playing as a clan. It's your lineage that needs to survive, not only one, because we go from 10 million years up to 2 million years.
So that's what I was gonna ask. Is there like okay?
That's the overall arc. That's like. And it doesn't take you millions of years to go through it.
Well, what I mean, that would be a huge like.
There is systems to make the gap.
Yeah, there's a big gap between when you can play, when you start, and when you finish. Your like great grandson would have to finish the game.
Exactly. Yeah. Roughly.
Roughly, right?
Well, I don't know which computer, by the way.
Is there like a goal that you're given, like at the beginning, or do you just make your own goals?
You make your own goals. While I was like studying the subject matter, at first I was making that game a lot more linear, trying to go through the science of it all.
Sure.
But it was boring. Roughly.
Science is often boring.
Roughly, no, but it's because we know a little bit more than the character. So anyway,
Right.
So instead we've built this huge map, which Game World, which all the science is in there. But then I'm asking the player, hey, Homo sapiens, you think you're intelligent enough to survive like your ancestors did? And so we're not taking you by the ends whatsoever. There's no mini map. So it's not about going from dots to dots.
There's no heads up, there's no HUD at all, it looks like.
Well, you can turn it on and off. This is me playing, so I don't need a HUD.
Oh,
I'm the best.
Okay.
I'm the best Ancestors player on the planet right now, so I don't need it.
Man, you're just like, you got your horn and you're just tooting it all over the place.
A little bit. But, but since we're on Twitch here, like it is, and I was telling you backstage that it is a game for Twitch because you can actually get better at it. There's skills involved, and every play sessions are different. So you can go and say, okay, what do we do today? What's the adventure we're going to live? Right? And if you're really good, like people will come and see you play. Because you can have style. There's like in the control scheme, there's a little bit of Tony Hawk in it. You have hair control, and you just like, and then you evolve at your own pace.
When you say, but like you say words like getting better, it's like getting better at life?
Yes.
At living?
But mostly getting better at decoding the game environment.
Okay.
Reading it, but also getting good with the character. In Prince of Persia, or when you were playing with Ezio, the character would decide a lot of things for you.
Yeah.
So, you know, running on walls in Sands of Time, you were as good as me. There was no, like, you had to go through the motion. Here, it's really, you can know all the subtleties of the main character, and really, just like when you play a sports game.
Sure.
You know, we can all play FIFA, and then there's players that are really good at FIFA. It's the same game. Well,
yeah,
we have this in Ancestors, even though it's an action-adventure game, open world, and everything.
It's like people understand games, like the game that you are playing differently than you do. Like they're that much better, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then me, it's unfair, because I see the Matrix right now, but it's true. Like, I understand it all, I read it all, I look at the screen, it's like, you should do this and that. But even if you know,
now what you
can create moments that are unique. Like the other day, I killed a leopard.
Okay.
While the sun was rising, you know, in the horizon, and I knew, and there was a cliff, and the shot was perfect. And I said, oh, I created that. I'm the only one. And even I was at my place, and I went around. It's like, did somebody saw it?
Yeah.
And then I recorded it, and so to make sure I had it. But
it sounds like the beginning of a poem. I killed a leopard.
Yeah.
The sun was rising.
Or the story I was telling you also. The other day I played it, I decided that I would be this elder, because there is like, you have kids, you have adults, and you have elders in your clan.
Sure.
You need them all. You need kids to gain experience, you need adults to be the strongest point, and you need elders eventually to feel less fear. There's a fear system also in the game.
But yeah, we barely discussed like any mechanics.
I know. But there is a bunch. That's why it's a multi-layer game. But anyway, so I was this elderly woman who went away alone to die. And that was the story I told myself. I didn't have to, but I felt like, oh, it would be a poem. And it happened, I felt.
I feel like I could record my play session of a game, send it to a voice actor to narrate like Morgan Freeman.
That's a good idea.
Yes.
Be like, and the apes went to the watering hole, but the watering hole was occupied by Mr. Lion. That kind of stuff.
And what's also, it's funny, while I'm playing it, and I hope a lot of people will feel that, is that most of the tool set to go through the game is already in you. We know how to survive Africa somehow. There's moments when you're like with your clan in the savannah, because there's a savannah somewhere in the game world.
Sure.
With your clan that everybody walks on two legs suddenly, everybody's got a stick, and you feel like, I've been there. It's in us. We've been that clan. That's why we're here on Twitch.
It's in our genes, it's in our DNA.
Yes, just like in Assassin's Creed.
Bringing it back around.
Okay, I can talk about this all day, but we got to get the information out. When can we get this?
August 27th.
August 27th.
On Epic Game Store.
On the Epic Game Store.
On console in December.
Man, you have been my favorite interview of the day.
Oh, thank you.
You're smiling, full of energy.
you.
You're exciting.
Thank you.
And you're not even the least bit jaded, even though you've been in this business for, billion
25 years.
10 million years. Well, the game is, I threw my card away. Ancestors,
The Humankind Odyssey.
The Humankind Odyssey.